Hello. So I got this iPod Classic because I wanted to escape the evil Spotify ecosystem streaming in general. And a lot of people have been going back to physical media, like CDs, cassettes, and all that kind of stuff. I have a bunch of CDs. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to go back to my childhood days of, ripping them and putting them on my MP3 player. I've never had an iPod before. I only had Walmart dollar store MP3s, which I'm so grateful for. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have this iPod Classic, which has a few scratches on it. It's a little scuffed up on the back, but that's fine. She's an old girl. Here I am trying to figure out how to turn it on. I thought it was this thing on the top, but it's not. I figured out what that was for a little bit later. But I was just kind of exploring. So this is the USB to 30-pin connector that you need for the iPod. And here I am struggling to put it in there. I was a little afraid that it might be too old and janky to use, but it was fine. I also got this clear case just to protect it from any further damage, scratches, or anything like that. I know some people like to put stickers on their cases, but I don't think I'll be doing that, even though it is so cute, because they peel and get janky and dirty. So I was like, maybe not. Maybe I won't do that, but it is super cute when other people do it. Yeah, so here I am just exploring and just trying to see what features it has. Like I said, I've never had an iPod before, so I was like, this is pretty cool. This is a whole new world for me. And I also wanted to see if there was anything left over from the previous owner, which there was, but not any music. It was a bunch of news stuff and podcasts and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. I'm not really a podcast person, but I was like, oh, that's cool. A little nerd had this before I did. So yeah, nice little history. Here I am just kind of looking through all the features that it has, photos, videos, and there's extras, which I didn't know about. And I went straight to the games, obviously, because I'm a child. Music quiz didn't work because there's no music on it, but the brick did work, and I did not do well. I will, as you can see, because I didn't know how to move it. But then once I got the hang of it, I was like, I haven't gotten the hang of it yet. Okay, boom, there. Once I got the hang of it, I was like, okay, this is fun. So this is a cute little thing, if you're fidgeting, if you're used to scrolling, that would be nice. And then I figured out what that thing on the top was for. It was to lock the clicker wheel. Okay, so here we are, moving fast to iTunes. I'm downloading iTunes because I have a PC. So I had to go to the Windows, whatever, Microsoft store and get that. I do have music already on here because I have an iPhone, so I do have some stuff in iTunes. But all these songs with the blue cloud and the arrow, it won't let me download them. I bought them, but I can't download them, so that sucks. But I did get this Hayley Williams cassette tape a few years ago, and it came with a digital download of the album. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll just use that. That's fine. Here I am just transferring it into my iTunes. I'm about to put it on my iPod. At least I think I am. But then I get this message and I'm like, wait a minute, there's something wrong. It's defective. And I was kind of like, okay, there's an issue. It asked me to install iPod support. I thought maybe that would fix it and the normal menu would come up, but it didn't. So I really thought that there was something wrong with it. And I was I started researching common issues and how I could troubleshoot and whatever, and stuff came up. So I was like, okay, so there is something wrong. So I ended up ejecting it a few times to try and figure out what I could do to fix it. Yeah, and here I am doing just that. And then once I ejected it, it just went back to the normal menu. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not totally a lost cause. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong since I'm new to this. And I ended up actually resetting the whole iPod with that restore iPod function, taking a little pit stop to rename the iPod, because all my Apple products, it only gives the first 5 letters of my name for whatever reason. But yeah, I ended up restoring the iPod, which just puts it back to factory settings, which was not necessary, but whatever. Here it is rebooting. And then after this, I figured out that I didn't need to do that. But since it wasn't, a bunch of music, I was like, okay, the loss isn't that great. I'm not terribly heartbroken, but it would have been cool to listen to some of those, articles and NPR, whatever. Yeah, so here I am just kind of checking to see if everything is gone, and everything is gone. So I'm like, okay, let me plug it in for the final time and let's see how this works. So all I had to do was just sync the music And yeah, that's what I did. I just clicked the button. I was like, okay, that sounds easy. I clicked apply to that question. I didn't know what they meant by that, but whatever. It worked. The music is there. I'm happy. I've got my my Haley Williams. So yeah, yeah, that was kind of it. And I also wanted to make sure that the album artwork came up, because I was worried that wouldn't happen for whatever reason, but it did. And then here I am just figuring out the volume controls and listening to my beautiful music on my cute new iPod. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Must be there when I'm